We are people advocating cannabis education here at paceradio.net.
The views expressed by the individuals during this broadcast are their own opinions, and they may not be the same as those of their group or other organizations they may be involved with.
You know I blame it on industry. I blame it on my own hypocrisy. Miseducation and politicians. No one's willing to step up.
All good.
And speak.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Pace Radio Show. It's May the 19th, 2021 and we are live here at paceradio.net. I'm your host, Al Graham, and tonight my joint host, Kim Cooper, and she has invited two gentlemen who have come together in order to share the story of a group of people who are mending many people. And mending, I always look at mending as repairing and, helping out. But first, as always, Kim and I are going to have our usual chat, and we've got a news article for tonight, don't we, Kim?
Yeah, we do. We're going to talk, something that we rarely get a chance to discuss. It's not something that's prevalent in the news since the first time it happened many, many moons ago. Story from MJ Biz Daily tells us Canada has approved the fourth medical cannabis vaporizer license to a company manufacturing here in Canada.
Yeah, I know. I saw that headline. I thought, oh, really? It's not something we hear about very often. About something like this being approved. And you and I discussed before the show that we knew that the volcano vaporizer.
Yeah, everybody knows
approved.
volcano. That was the first, right?
That's right.
Everybody knows volcano is the one that they spent the money that it cost to get the actual certification from Health Canada to get their pretty little shiny stainless steel plate that goes on the back of their vaporizer to say it is an authorized medical device. And, tacked on several $100s on top of the retail price for that honor. What was really attractive to me about this story is the graph.
Yes.
There's a nice, really bright graph on the front of this, and it shows the rise in the number of cannabis patients listed in the Canadian medical system. This one at its peak was at just over 375,000 people back in 2020. I think I recall a story around 420 that we did that said we're sitting around 420,000 patients in the country.
Yeah. There was a story about that. Yeah, the numbers are a little bit different, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now this vaporizer has been approved by Health Canada. As we discussed before the show, we found out it's not actually a vaporizer; it's an inhaler.
Yeah, so headlines are deceiving, ladies and gentlemen. No, there is not a new volcano on the market for us to go out and purchase. Now, while this is groundbreaking, a little bit deceiving with the headline, but it is very groundbreaking, especially for those suffering from illnesses like COPD that has a problem with inhalation. If you don't have lung power to draw in, then metered dosing fired down your lungs at a high rate of speed, much like a Ventolin puffer, can really come in handy. And that's what this is, metered dosing.
Yeah, it's metered dosing. It's like taking a puffer that everybody sees, people with asthma and stuff taking all the time. It's a similar idea. It's not, you're not putting herb into it and vaporizing like you would with a volcano. But it does come with, you get preloaded or you ordered cartridges that go into it.
Yeah.
And it does all that. But just so everybody else knows, I see here the only other licensed ones here in Canada are all volcanoes, eh?
Yeah. There are 3 existing licenses for certified medical devices for inhalation therapy, and they're all 3 versions of Volcano. Volcano Medic, Mighty Medic, and the Volcano Medic 2. So they're all volcanoes.
They're all volcanoes. Yeah, all manufactured by the same company. So so there you go. It's a dose regulated inhaler that has some form of cannabis in it.
Yeah. So interesting evolution on the medical front. I mean, this is exciting stuff for patients around the world with lung capacity problems or inhalation problems of any kind, but that still want to use cannabinoid therapy through inhalation because it, of course, is the way that you get the most immediate effect.
Yeah, exactly. It's quicker. It's right into the system. It's not like when you're swallowing a pill and waiting for it to be digested and broken down in the body.
Right, exactly. So this is groundbreaking stuff to see this happen in a metered dose. I'm excited to see where it goes.
Yeah, exactly. It'll change things for a lot of people, and some people over time, I'm sure, will switch to it, and some of them will just keep doing the natural herb.
Yeah, my curiosity is piqued on what the contents will contain.
Yes,
right?
Yeah.
What are they going to put in it? That's the big question mark, right? What are they going to put it now? Now, do they fill it with, Sativex? Well, now we've got a problem.
Yeah.
But if they use, a natural plant, then actual rather than synthetic cannabinoids, then it could be very cool.
Could be, exactly. And they're trying to get, you see that a little bit here and there where they're trying to get more into it. But.
Yeah.
All righty. What do you think? Time to bring our guests in?
Absolutely. I'm excited for tonight. Yes.
Oh, I know. I know what you mean. Exactly. All right. At this time, I'd like to welcome people I said have come together in order to share the story of a group of people. We'd like to welcome patient Actionist, and that's Gary Pallister, and documentary producer and director Kim Saltarski to the Pace Radio Show. Hello, guys. How you doing?
Real good. Great to be here. Thanks for having us.
Hey, we're
very well, Al. Thank you. Thank you, Kim.
You're very welcome, Gary.
Yep, we're very happy to have you come on here and come to us. And Gary, you can tell us what all you've been doing over this time. And as I mentioned, Kim there is involved in documentaries. And these two have gotten together, and we're going to be discussing that tonight. Right?
Yeah, for sure.
You betcha.
Yeah.
Well, what can I say? I'm doing it all the time. It just seems to come natural now.
Oh, that's for sure. I know you've got tons to say. We're going to dive into so much tonight, I know.
Cool.
And I can't wait. I've been talking all week, giddily excited about tonight's show. And everybody I talk to, it's like, they're like, who do you have on? And I said, I got Gary on this week. Oh, it's going to be so cool. You never know what Gary's going to say.
You betcha.
And that's why there's a documentary.
Ron says hi to everybody.
Cool.
Yeah. So,
hello back.
That's been my hype for the week. I've been working all week on packing and stuff, and you've given me more of a charge than I'd like to say. Really, you've been a source of energy for me this week, and I'm excited for tonight's show, and I'm excited to dive in. You guys working together and coming together on this has created something really, really dynamic and so fantastic. We here at the station had the privilege of watching a bit of an advanced, uncut version of the new documentary that's coming out about MEND, Mother Earth Natural Design, which is an entity created by the one and only Mr. Gary Pallister with his good buddy, Rob Mahy, Mr. Just Rob. The Yeow Man and Just Rob coming together has blown away a section of this province of ours and had tentacles reach out across the land. I want to start off with Gary. Kim, I'm going to get you in eventually. Just hang on. But Gary's going to get started, so you might as well get comfy.
That's what I expect.
You know that already. Gary, how did you meet Rob? Tell us about that.
Many years ago, Rob was in the construction business like myself. I'm a heavy equipment operator with dump trucks. Rob is like a supervisor. So we ended up working at the tank range together. He was looking after a big site up there. Anyways, it's a small town, small area. Back in the day, I tend to educate myself with a lot of whiskey and beer. And when Rob would come to the parties, half the bottle gone, he thought it was time to go. The show was about to begin. We worked together, and then we kind of separated and went our own way for a few years. And when I come back, I was kind of sober, had changed my ways, had found out that cannabis was why I was so healthy and felt great and everything. Anyway, so we kind of connected because, we're always talking about cannabis, and we ended up, a gentleman, Peter Bing.
Back. You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
At Legacy 420, we believe in being different.
Experience the difference of quality control.
Our labs provide tested formulations for all of our products.
Experience the difference in trust.
Our customers can trust that we are following
Hang on.
up-to-date
I'm back.
precautions for their
Experience the difference in accessibility.
We're open 7 days a week. Please visit our website, legacy420.com, or contact us for curbside pickup as well as nationwide mail order shipping.
Legacy 420 values overall wellness.
Come and experience the difference of Legacy 420.
The People's Alliance of Cannabis in Canada is an organization working to improve cannabis legalization in Canada. They have a mission and values that includes all Canadians, no matter where they come from. The values are including everyone, as no one should be excluded from participating, equality, diversity, advocacy, along with cannabis education and research, plus industry, safety, and professional standards. If this is an organization that has the same values as you, check them out at People's Alliance of Cannabis in Canada.ca. Once again, People's Alliance of Cannabis in Canada.ca. Check them out.
Enjoy the buzz of legalization with Campbellford Lifestyle Shop. From lights to plant nutrients, books, consumption accessories, and more, we've got all your basics to grow or consume cannabis. Visit our info center or take a look at our piercing services and body jewelry, now available in-store through Campbellford Lifestyle Shop, 17 Bridge Street West, Campbellford.
What do you find at paceradio.net? People advocating cannabis education.
A doctor's job is to relieve your pains, and when it comes to growing cannabis, the biggest pain is trimming. Let Dr. Buck Cannabis Trimming Solutions take the pain away. Whether you're a home grower or a commercial operation, we have the cure. From 4 plants to 400 plants, garden size doesn't matter. Dr. Buck Cannabis Trimming Solutions comes to you with years of experience and professional discreet service. It's simple. We trim your weed, and we do a damn good job. Visit drbuckcts.com to book your trimming.
CP operates a medicinal cannabis signing clinic. If you want to grow your own medicinal cannabis and are located anywhere in Canada, then I'd like to suggest that you give them a call. They can be reached at 1-613-967-9888. That's 1-613-967-9888, and grow on with CP.
Growing your own vegetables, flowers, or even medicinal plants can be a challenge without the right equipment and proper know-how. At BMA Hydroponics, not only are they your urban horticultural experts and suppliers, but their staff holds the customer's needs paramount to making a sale. Family-owned with decades of experience and knowledge, they offer free advice in person, by phone, or email. BMA Hydroponics wants to ensure you have the advice you need, which is why you'll find tips and tricks on different ways to grow, like wick, ebb and flow, drip, or aeroponic system, as well as other helpful links at bmahydroponics.com. If you can't find what you're looking for, just let them know, and they'll do everything they can to get what you're looking for. At BMA Hydroponics, each staff member also possesses a federal exemptee MMAR license, making their strong suit empathy, experience, and dedication to their customers. Because when you know how to grow, you'll have results that make you proud. BMA Hydroponics in Belleville, Ontario. Visit bmahydroponics.com.
We are people advocating cannabis education here at paceradio.net. Hey, we're back, and I've got everybody back. We're all here, Kim and Gary, and I'm here, and we're back running again. It just, I believe all of a sudden, I think my internet just dropped down. I lost everything at once, so we're back.
But we came back.
We
came back. It stayed running, and we're back.
Yeah,
and technical stuff happens when you're live, and that's how you know for sure we're live.
That's right. When you hear me yelling, I'm back in the middle of a commercial break.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah. We're all good now. Good stuff. Okay, now before the break, so we're going to run right through the next 45 minutes as far as before we go for another commercial break.
Yeah.
So so let's get going back to the interview again with Gary and where Gary left off.
Yeah, we were talking about, you gave the tincture to Rob, and of course Rob tried it and found amazing results, and Rob, being who Rob is, immediately called Israel.
That's correct. And got talking to a wonderful scientist. Actually, I'm sorry, I'm not good on names, but he got talking to the gentleman, and I guess he said and asked all the right questions because the scientist opened up to him and just give Rob such an education that it was wonderful, and it just took off from there. What Rob found then was that he just kept making it, and people were coming over, and he kept giving it away, and before you knew it, the ones he was giving it to, they were giving it to a couple of people, and they would come back, well, I'm sorry, Rob, I kind of give it, well, that's okay, I got some more here, and it's snowballed into the most wonderful. It's almost, I can't believe that just some old loudmouth turning on a really cool dude, and this happened because we've helped a lot of people. He's gone through tons of tinctures, and I've gone through about 7 or 8 vehicles traveling, and the word has been spread. Now Kim's been wonderful and really all I am, I'm just a guy that kind of stood out because I figured once the police had busted me a couple of times, everybody got the wrong idea really what I was into. And so we stood up and started telling people, and then the more people come on, and we kept teaching everybody. There's hundreds now that we've taught how to make tinctures, how to infuse coconut oil. And you can put that coconut oil anywhere you want, on your body, in your body. You can cook with Betty Crocker. I sound like a snake oil salesman, but this stuff just works. And then you get Rob's blend. He goes out and picks up weeds off the ground that we, the men, have all peed on for years. Don't pick no weeds close to any buildings. Anyways, he goes and gets all these weeds, and he infuses them on top of the can of butter. And when you got an acre of pain, you put it on your muscles, and you look at it and say, I don't believe this. It's like, are you kidding me?
That's Rob's blend.
We're teaching people how to do this.
That's Rob's blend that he makes.
Yes.
I'm a recipient recently of a package from Rob, and he sent me up a little bit of his RSO, as well as the coconut oil, as well as a jar of what was labeled Rob's blend. And I had to message him when it came, and I said, okay, well, I know what the coconut oil is. I know what the RSO is. What is this? and
alchemy.
And then he told me, and I went, really? Well, let me tell you, that little bottle has been my best friend this week.
Ain't it amazing?
Yeah, ain't it amazing?
Alchemy.
It really is, and his little, you guys' little saying there, each one teach one. That's what it's all about.
Yep, it's teamwork. It's all the people, the ripple effect of one reaching and teaching another, and like our age group starts from about 55 through to 97, 98, and I practiced and experimented for about 42 years by the time Rob and I got together. So I was pretty well versed in this. And there's nothing that we make that we sample and check ourselves, because we got to know exactly what it is that people are getting from us. And I can assure you that I make sure that everything is tested. I'm like the head of development and research. Yep, they set stuff in front of me, and I research it, and we see what develops. And so far, it's been 100% across the board.
Gary's
Gary,
R&D.
Yeah, he's made some big sacrifices for all of us.
So big.
Gary's R&D.
I'm very proud and pleased that I'm still here to tell people and to like each and every one of us that got out of all the stuff that we played in when we were younger. We were the smart ones. I've lost so many buds that decided they wanted to smoke cigarettes and drink booze and carry on after 40.
Ain't that the truth, Gary? I mean, and that's the generation we're from, right? I mean, that's growing up as a youth or a teen in the 70s and the late 60s, and then carrying that on through the 80s, and then again, even further into the 90s, and then, it's like, holy shit, a lot didn't make it.
But all that experimentation and all that checking things out, one foot in front of the other, eventually led us to the path. Oh, Jesus, where's my pulpit?
Yeah.
To wellness and good health. I actually got a pulpit. Rick Marshall give it to me. I got it stored away. I had my own podium, not a pulpit. I used the wrong word. Pardon me. Forgive me, Lord. I got my own pulpit. But you
straighten your tie.
It's something that works so well. Well, like we've got nurses, doctors, lawyers. I got 2 ministers that believe in me. I had to go and get character references for the court when I self-defended. So I went to a couple of reverends. One of them I go to church and see once in a while, not too often, but they love it. It works well for their aches and pains. The non-euphoric. Yeah,
that's right. And
the non-euphoric is what works the best.
Yeah, for the people that are looking for the aches and pains. But, there's a lot of us older patients that have been patients for a long time. I want to dive in just a little bit before we get too far ahead about the euphoric, because there is a lot of focus on the non-euphoric and how the medicine can help without getting you high. But there are those of us that gravitated towards this medicine because of the euphoric effects.
And that is why I am so healthy, and I make that very clear. Remember, folks, the reason you all know about this is because I found something that I think is really good for us, but I still like to get high.
Yes.
I mean, that's why I am so healthy. But the high at night, after I'm done, you know what I mean? Like, so... Like after 50 years, what's high? Well,
that's exactly
I don't have any aches and body aches. I don't sit around smoking joints anymore. I like my dabs, and I find that works quite well. I shouldn't smoke anything because of my COPD problem, but what do you do?
Vaporization is better than inhalation of smoke, right?
Well, I like to partake.
Yes,
but I found something that really helps people.
That's it.
And that's all I want to do is teach people. Just make more. Here, this is it. Very simple. If I can do it, you can do it.
That's it. And for people that have been cannabis consumers for a very long time, of course, with cannabis, as with everything else out there, natural and otherwise, you build a tolerance over time. So when people see people that consume large quantities, such as you and I and pretty much everybody else here in this interview tonight, consuming larger quantities of this stuff, they're kind of like, oh my God, how you're not going to be able to function through the day. But that's not the case because of tolerances built up. I know the first time I did a dab, the very first dab I ever did was given to me by the one and only Gary Pallister.
I like to share, don't I?
That's called a legacy.
and Gary, I can tell you, I've heard that story on more than one occasion.
Yeah. And I'm happy to carry that legacy on, and now be the one that is out there saying, "Oh, you've never done a dab? Oh, well, let me help you with that."
You betcha.
It's one of my favorite pastimes. And I have a little rule that, the size of the dab that I give you for your first dab will largely depend on who you are.
Yes, you don't want to over dab. There are rules to dabbing.
Yes.
Try not to over dab them too badly. It took me a while to learn those rules,
Yes,
there was
I
a
know.
couple of people in my wake.
No, you hadn't learned that yet with me, Gary.
Sorry. Not.
Yeah, Gary and I were sharing a hotel room with 5 or 8 other ladies. I can't even remember how many people were there. It was a 2-bedroom suite in a hotel in Ottawa for the Smith extract trial. And
that's right.
And Gary brought his dab rig, and I had never seen dabs before. And I said, "Oh, what's that?" And we were all paranoid back then. And there we were, huddled together in the hotel room washroom with the fan on, doing dabs on the back of the toilet.
Like a bunch of kids in high school, eh? And you got to realize, I hit the jackpot, because when you get into a motel room with 7 fine ladies, they all like to bake. Like when they put their goodies up on the table, I was like, "Oh my Lord, I've gone to heaven and died."
There was nothing in that hotel room that wasn't infused.
We had fun there. Great memories.
Food that wasn't infused, you had to go out because there was nothing there. Yeah, we were waking and baking from morning till night. You had your morning coffee with infused cream. It was quite the weekend.
Sounds like it.
It was a good time.
It was a great first impression, I'll tell you.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's something to be said for the euphoric effects. They cause, community interaction, just the same as somebody getting together and having an after-dinner drink. You can get together and have an after-dinner toke, and it's not taboo. It shouldn't be.
Exactly. And that's the whole point that I've tried to make, being so outspoken, and it's finally sunk in. We have folks that are, well, the first guy that come along that Rob and I really sat the 3 of us together, and I said right to Rob, I said, "Rob, what if we kill him?" And he said, "Well, we're all adults here, and we learned with Fred, and he happened to be a suit. So we just took everything from my world, which of course is blue collar, heavy equipment operator, proud of it.
Yeah.
Rob's a fine carpenter, supervisor material. We're just a couple of good old boys. I stumble and bumble through, and he's a researcher who does. He's got to know what he's doing, right? Me, I know, I kind of know what I'm doing, but it's all trial and error. But I found if I stick my finger in the flame too many times, it keeps on burning, so I don't do that anymore. But,
good lesson.
It's really, I kind of showed Rob, but I have to pay, Rob is the one that everybody knows me in town too, trust me. But Rob is the one that everybody knows in town. The gentleman walked around once a year and he handed out flowers to every lady that worked in town, to all the stores. Think about it. I just turned the guy on that every woman in town loves because he's so kind, and he goes in and he gives to pay them respect for the job that they do, Mm-hmm. And now he's telling everybody about these tinctures, and he comes and he said, "Bud, what do I owe you?" And I looked at him, I said, "Bud, you don't owe me nothing. Really, all I want you to do is tell everybody, share it." And I said, I've always been known as a drunk and a druggie, and I wouldn't mind getting some respect because I'm recovering. 22 years I haven't had a drink, and I haven't done drugs since I was 52 when I quit completely. No, 44 was when I complete drugs and booze. 52 is when I started growing my hair because I found something that really pissed people off. But that's another story. Anyways, but I did. I turned 50 and looked in the mirror and went, "You old prick, you made 50." When I turned 51, I said to my dad, I said, "Dad, you know what? I'm going to do what I want to do now, when I want, how I want." Well, he says, "Son, I thought you always did." And I said, well, I did and I do. But I said, now I'm going to do it with experience. And I won't back down. I found a Martin's Law book that was given to me by Darren McCormick, who taught me how to make the oil. He's Rick Simpson's chef, and he does his own thing. We all do our own thing, but we're all trying to help people. And the thing is the more people that know how to do this and that can do this. Now, we don't teach how to make oil. That's a whole different ball game, and you're playing in different fields and probably playing with fire and what have you. But now, I looked at the judge one time in the stand, and I looked at him and I said, "Your Honor, with respect," pregnant pause, "life over law."
Yeah.
And they didn't arrest me and put me in jail, but he heard me. So, and I stand by that. Even the last time when the police officer brought me back from when I got busted, and I said to him, I said, "Officer, you know where I live?" And I said, "I really don't care if you come in uniformed cruiser. But I said, if you get any problems in your family with cancer, you contact me and I'll help." You know that little bugger, you wrote it down, and that's the first thing the judge heard. And I thought, well, I guess that lets the judge know where I stand.
Yep, absolutely. That's
perfectly clear.
Life over law.
You betcha, honey. And I'll go to my grave on that. The children. There's a 15-year-old child right now that's using the gummies that I make for him. And his doctor and counselor said to his mother, "I'm not sure what's going on, but this young man isn't as irritable. He's learning better. He's calmer." And I said to her, "Whatever you do, don't tell anybody what you're doing. Children's Aid will come in and scoop your kids away from you, but by the snap, and it's working." Now, guess what? You can have all your scientific and all your tests, and you can do all your statistical studies and everything else, but it was a guy that sat in a bulldozer for 40 years that's a drug addict, recovering, an alcoholic, who made a difference to that child and to the other child, Angelina. So, yeah, you're right.
Yeah. And
I'll
so many
stand up and
kids,
be
and
heard.
so many patients and
You
seniors
betcha.
that you guys are helping. Word got out about you two, and
You
Rob
betcha.
giving this stuff out his front door and talking to his neighbors and friends. And you guys started holding, little town halls and gatherings at, the local venues, and saying, "Hey guys, if you want to know about it, we're going to be over here tonight. We're going to show you what we do." And people, a lot of them, showed up.
Including Roger Klein from CKVR, who actually outed me. He brought the cameras in and he showed pictures of my family home and gave all my family names. And it took me a week and a half stalking him. He's an early riser. One morning I found him at the radio show and I said, "What are you trying to do to my family? I'm Gary Pallister." And we've become good friends since then. I've been the top story twice on CKVR because what we're doing is right. And he follows when something's important. He follows.
Yeah, I've seen Roger's Klein's reporting on you guys. Great to have somebody from mainstream media in there for sure, showing it to the masses the way they do when it makes the mainstream news like that. That's big news because that's what people pay attention in today's world, sadly. So that's huge for you guys. Absolutely. But it evolved from there. You guys kept going. You said, like you say, you wound up getting a whole bunch of vehicles, one after another. They'd break down because of all of the wear and tear you put on it. Things got out, word got out, and lo and behold, you met Kim Saltarski. Hi, Kim.
Hey. Yeah, it's that's the thing. The word does spread, and so if through a friend of a friend. I was sitting in my backyard and talking about my experience using medical cannabis to eradicate melanoma from my body. and she was sharing what she knew, and she goes, "Oh, there's these guys up in Meaford. They have tincture." And I'm like, "What's tincture?" All I knew was RSO, full extract cannabis oil. And so I said, "Wow, I've got to meet these guys," because at that point I had eradicated cancer from me, and I wanted to how do I pay it forward? Because there's such an incredible, a little cooking class. But on October 14th, 2017, I drove up with my camera and my crew, and I met Rob, and after about 1 minute talking to him, I said, stop everything you're saying. I just got to roll camera. And I did that for a year and a half, and so thrilled that here we are over 3 years later. In a couple months, we're going to be releasing the 35-minute documentary Men with Dignity.
Oh, fantastic. I mean, Kim, you are yourself, as you say, as a patient, hearing the stories, hearing the buzz. Hey, there's these guys in Meaford. And it's like, well, what are they talking about? What are they doing? Who is this guy? Then meeting Rob and meeting Gary. The knowledge coming off of Rob is amazing. The energy coming off of Rob or off of Gary is 10 times as amazing. What were your first thoughts with these guys?
Well, I just knew they were the real deal, because you can sort of tell real quickly in this world who's in it for all the right reasons and who's trying to make a buck in the dime for all the wrong reasons. Mm. So it was very obvious to me, sort of being a fly in the wall, watching them, how they interacted during the workshop, and then they took everybody upstairs to show them how to do the cooking class, and they were giving away, literally they gave away $2,000 or $3,000 worth of medicine that day. And no one, very few people do that, So they just, once I saw that, and the reaction and the response from this packed house of people, seniors who really are, you can see they're struggling for a quality of life. And here's Rob and Gary doing their best to provide that for them. So it was just captivating. And I just knew, oh my God, one day turned into two. And I think, it was about 20 filming days later, just so thrilled to be part of the ripple that Gary and Rob have started.
For sure. Ripple, right? That's the saying. Ripple. Hey, Gary.
Ripple.
Gary, I mean, you are definitely making ripples.
You betcha. And I'll continue to make ripples.
Yeah, for sure.
It's very important. Rob is quiet. Rob is daylight, and I'm nightlife. And we have a good combination. Rob works on his own, and Gary works on his own. I have my life. He has his life. But we both come together, and we help people, and we share with people. I don't know, but generally on an average, there's probably 3 or 4 comes through my door. And Rob he's had to tame things down because there were so many coming. He just had to start making appointments because people want to see him. And you don't just go in and sit down for 10 minutes and talk to Rob. You go in and you sit down, and he checks you all over, and it's almost like an intake because we got to know what the illness is. I don't do research. People come to me and tell me what they want. I try to help them and direct them in the right direction, because what we found, people that are listening to this, and you'll relate, you're the ones why I stood up. The people that were going to the people in the street to get what they needed instead of going to their family members and the ones they were afraid that people would look down on them. Anyways, they'd go to the street. Not only were they losing their money, but the idiots on the street were beating them. And I got mad and realized, we got a problem. If you call me, I'll get you some material. I'll find it for you. So I stick my neck out and I make sure that most people get what they require, because not everybody knows. And I tell people, I say, after you've gone to your nieces and nephews and your grandchildren and your children, because don't forget, we're dealing with older people now. 60 plus, and a lot of the folks are all they're all quite upstanding. We're all upstanding, but they're like, and then I have to bring up to them, okay, look at Genesis 11, 12, and 29. Here we go with the Bible. I'm spiritually motivated. I'm not religious speaking, but I like to use what's in the man-made black book because it's the first page. Genesis 11, 12, 29. I use that in court. I also use, from the Martin's Law book that I got from Darren McCormick, Section 263, that clearly states anybody trying to impede anybody's wellness and health can be held indictable for no less than 10 years. So in other words, when the police that have a job to do, and I respect the police, always do, but when the police come in and they're trying to take your garden and it's your medical garden, officer, you can't do that. That's my medical garden. And if you do, Section 263 clearly states that you're impeding. Well, anyways, now that the government, God bless the government, they've legalized everything, and I don't know, they legalized it, I'm not sure. But anyways, it's all legal, yeah. And that's a good thing. That's a wonderful thing. They give us 4 plants. Oh, you give us 4 plants. Okay. So now I'm going to show you how to grow that plant into 2 pounds. How's that?
Yeah.
Because, come on. The government, all they've tried to do is anyways, I don't want to push that button. It's all about men and helping people, but the government isn't there to help us. It's wonderful they've got all these fancy stores opened up. That shiny new store in Collingwood, I walked in and everybody's just looking wonderful and everything's shiny and neat. I needed my sunglasses on. It was so bright. $90 for a gram of dab.
I know. I know.
I looked at him. I said, son, I'm a nobody. I'm really a nobody, but you don't know who I am. I said, I got dabs for $30 I've been buying them for.
Yeah.
Give me a break. It's all about the money. Money, 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 money.
Yeah.
Not with me, it's not. If I want money, I'll go and work at the Ted's Range Road Diner at the 9th line and Meaford. Oh! There was a plug.
Gotta plug Ted.
1788. There was a plug.
Always gotta plug Ted's. Absolutely, Gary. No, I know what you mean. Legalization in this country, yes, it's done some amazing things. It has some wonderful benefits for society as far as alleviating a lot of the stigma that goes along with prohibition and past beliefs that have been pushed. So it is doing something there. But as far as legalization working in conjunction with our pre-existing medical system, well, we got screwed.
They're waiting for us to all die off, and you know it, Kim.
Screwed.
They're waiting for me, the loudmouth, to stop talking. Well, I ain't stopping, and I guarantee anyone comes near me and I'm louder. Why? Because I am. We've helped a lot of people, kids included.
That's right.
And it's the kids that it started with the adults, but it's the kids I'm interested in to help. But we can't, because if we do, then get me started.
Yeah, I hear you.
When you're working with the kids, kiddies, you got to be quiet. Don't tell nobody nothing, because as soon as you tell anybody, then all of a sudden the boyfriend and girlfriend break up and somebody drops a dime and he's ratting out. You know what I mean? Like,
and it's the kid
so it's always wielded as a club.
That's right. And it's the kid that pays the price in the end.
Always.
Because they lose out on a medicine that's working for them. They wind up getting moved away from their loved ones, their parents. No good can come of it. Absolutely. We've got to be on the down low still with the kids. 100%. But we see the results. I want you to take a few minutes, or as long as it takes, and talk to us about Angelina.
Well, Angelina, I was working with a couple. I forget exactly how they'd heard about me, but anyways, I was going down to Toronto, and I'd take them down a liter of tinctures, and I'd drop it off the lady and her husband. She went into a Grand Seizure Mall when I was there, and I held on to her while her son and husband worked with her, and it come through wonderful. And she found that once she started taking, they were working well. That couple was sitting with another couple, Angelina's parents, and of course they were talking about this crazy guy comes from 100 miles away, brings them tinctures, and it's really making a difference. Well then, I've done a brain fart right now. I can't think of Angelina's parents' names. Anyways, oh God,
it's Wilson and Jennifer, I believe.
Oh, Wilson, thank you, Wilson and Jennifer Paula. And
yes.
Anyways, they contacted me, and I went down. And like I say, I've never met the child, but he started to show me stuff on the video, and finally I got up and walked away because I told him I'm just not quite ready for this kind of stuff. Sitting on a bulldozer, I didn't quite get exposed to this. So anyways, we just continued on, and these folks were amazing because, again, we got into we got into some folks that had the wherewithal and the courage and the stamina to tell people what they were doing with their child, and the people actually listened instead of trying to steal the child away with them. They worked with them. The school worked with them. The authorities worked with them. And the next thing I know, this child has gone numerous days with no seizure. And when she would think about having fun, she was 4. And as soon as she thought about having fun, she'd go into seizure. She's probably in grade 10 or 11 now, but when she was in grade 9 and became the captain of the soccer team, that was very fulfilling and rewarding time for me. And as you can tell, I get emotional about this child because she's the one, once it made a difference to her,
she couldn't think about
then I
having
stood
fun
up
without
and
having
started.
a seizure. Like just the thought of having fun would give her a seizure. And
Yeah,
by grade 9,
yeah.
she was on the captain
Captain
of the
of the soccer team.
and that was because of cannabis oil.
Well, that was because of teamwork. That was because of everybody working together for this child. But I guess I initially took the tinctures down to her, so we kind of got the ball rolling, you know. But Stuart and Jennifer, they started making their own, and they started to perfect it. And they did research, and they did everything. And I'm telling you, you talk about getting involved with wonderful people, because it's all teamwork and word of mouth and talking and
Well,
this is
plant
where we
gave
are.
this
I
kid
mean,
her life back.
well, yes. And if more children, we could help more children, because people say, well, we haven't got the studies and this and that. I'm a study since 1969. A riddling kid. I hope everybody's happy, because this is what you ended up with, because I stand up and I'll help any underdog or any kid or anybody, because we found something that really works well. And that's the main thing. And the fact that we're teaching everybody, we had a guy tell us one time, for Christ's sakes, don't be telling anybody this stuff. How are you going to make any money?
Oh,
No,
of course, right? Of course.
So I never said anything at the time. When I want to make money, I go and get a job.
Yeah.
Is how I make money. But right now, I'll share and teach. We've gone coast to coast teaching people how to make tinctures and infuse. And yes, now when we give classes, we ask people to put a donation of so much money in, because nobody leaves empty-handed. We give out flyers teaching them directions. Our site online, Mother Earth's Natural Design, we have the recipes, we have the ways upgraded. Fred and Laura Lee Harris. I'm kind of like the silent partner. Go figure that phrase. It was Rob May and Barb who put up with me coming around and being wild and crazy and burning the tablecloth a couple of times with my dad. Anyways, but it was Fred and Laura Lee Harris. They got together and they put the website together because they know these things, and they put all their insights. Like, everybody has their thing to bring to the table, okay? Rob has his calmness and his research, like he's the tell. And I have my wildness and loose cannon and craziness, and I'm the show. And together we show and tell. And it's just been fucking great.
Just been great, Gary. It's been great. Well, you guys make one hell of a team. That's for sure. I mean, you're
Teamwork.
the yin to his yang. You know,
But it's all the people.
say. It's well, yeah. But the two of you, I know it's all the people. I get that, because you two are the least modest people I've ever met in my life. So, of course, it's all the people as far as either one of you two are concerned. But I'm pretty sure all the people. And Rob.
Well, we do try hard. Rob, he likes to walk very quietly and talk very quietly. And we all bring our things to the table, right? I was a class clown that I really should have left alone because I've had the spotlight on me all my life. And I have no problem standing up and shouting out and explaining to people how great this stuff really is. If you find eating one gummy you get high, only you'd have. Okay, here's a story. The lady comes to me, she's Gary. My husband's got a grapefruit-sized a tumor on his neck. They can't operate. What do I do? I said, I don't know. Let's give him some oil. So we started on some oil. And I give him the dosage that I would take because she told me he was chronic like me. Anyway, she called me and said, Gary, my husband can't talk or walk. I said, don't give him so much oil. Within 3 months, and Nadine never paid any attention to what I was doing or nothing. My wife, Nadine, did not partake in anything I did. But in 3 months, when the lady called me and she said, Gary, we just come back from the doctor, and the tumor's gone, and the cancer is gone. He's cancer-free. He's not in remission, and the doctors can't believe what's happened. That lady does preventative medicine with the oil all the time, and they're the testimonial that finally made me stand up and shout out, because I am one of the new oil men, and we share and we care. Now, we don't teach people how to make oil because it's dangerous, but it's all over YouTube, and you can even watch the master, Rick Simpson, who I will always pay homage to. He's the one who brought it out, who showed me. And I don't call the oil I make Gary Andrew Pallister oil. It's cannabis oil, and it saves lives. And if you don't believe me, I've got about 9 people who will say that the oil saved their life because they found out that this loudmouth me had the oil and come and see me about it. And that's all I care. Spread the word.
Spread the word, you know. And it's not just curing cancer. So many things. Chronic pain.
Oh, my gosh.
Leveling off stuff like diabetes, regulating your sugar, regulating your
the
weight.
drug addicts. Right now I'm dealing with some people that are dealing with the street people. And it's bringing them off the drugs.
The
gummies
one.
is bringing them off the drugs.
It helps with the withdrawals.
Well, because they're saying, well, here, take these, and it's making them feel better. And it's working.
It helps with the withdrawals so they don't go running back for their next hit. The cannabis is able to get them through that. So the ones that are serious about wanting off but aren't able to do it because of the withdrawal symptoms force them back. This will get them over that. It helps get them clean.
And we've got testimonials to that too. After so many years, you know, like 8 or 9, I've been at least. Oh, gosh, it's got to be 10 now. I've been here for 10 years in this house, so it's a long time. Rob and I have worked together, and he's just been wonderful. But it's all his fault. I might have started it, but it's all Rob's fault. And then Kim come along, and he's been just great. His professionalism, and when this documentary comes out, like, it's just going to share and educate and tell more people. It's just every time they arrest me, all they're doing is making me bigger and louder, and that isn't to come on to arrest me. I respect the police, trust me. But they should have left this guy alone.
They didn't know the can of worms they were opening with that one.
And at 66, I just want to help everybody I can.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And, you know, you gave me the greatest of segues there talking about Kim, because that's where I was bouncing to next. And then right after that, I'm like glancing at the clock thinking, do I really want to do that now? Because then Al's going to cut me off in like 2.5 minutes.
Let's go for break now, being that we had an early break earlier on.
Well, I didn't mean to stop talking, but I don't like to hog on the show.
No, because
It was the perfect segue. It was just like, oh, but we're going to commercial at the same time.
yeah, I like to get more into the documentary, and we've got the trailer. We got the trailer here to play as well. We'll do that after the break.
Cool.
So let's get into the doc next.
Yeah. All right.
Cool.
We're gonna head to break. And
so when you're showing the doc, you can't hear me. I can have a dab.
Yes.
Well, when we get there, that's right. We're gonna go for a commercial break first.
Commercial. Right now, go ahead and have your dab.
All right.
How many minutes?
I'll let you know.
For the break?
2.5.
Oh, okay. Because I'm gonna put you on speakerphone. So.
All right.
Cool.
All right. Okay. We'll be back. We'll be back after the break. When we return, Kim and I will continue our conversation with Gary Pallister and Kim Saltarski. You're listening to the Pace Radio Show. We are live here at paceradio.net.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
Growing your own vegetables, flowers, or even medicinal plants can be a challenge without the right equipment and proper know-how. At BMA Hydroponics, not only are they your urban horticultural experts and suppliers, but their staff holds the customer's needs paramount to making a sale. Family-owned with decades of experience and knowledge, they offer free advice in person, by phone, or email. BMA Hydroponics wants to ensure you have the advice you need, which is why you'll find tips and tricks on different ways to grow, like wick, ebb and flow, drip, or aeroponic system, as well as other helpful links at bmahydroponics.com. If you can't find what you're looking for, just let them know, and they'll do everything they can to get what you're looking for. At BMA Hydroponics, each staff member also possesses a federal exemptee MMAR license, making their strong suit empathy, experience, and dedication to their customers. Because when you know how to grow, you'll have results that make you proud. BMA Hydroponics in Belleville, Ontario. Visit bmahydroponics.com.
CP operates a medicinal cannabis signing clinic. If you want to grow your own medicinal cannabis and are located anywhere in Canada, then I'd like to suggest that you give them a call. They can be reached at 1-613-967-9888. That's 1-613-967-9888. And grow on with CP.
Pace Radio is the People Advocating Cannabis Education Radio Network.
A doctor's job is to relieve your pains. And when it comes to growing cannabis, the biggest pain is trimming. Let Dr. Buck Cannabis Trimming Solutions take the pain away. Whether you're a home grower or a commercial operation, we have the cure. From 4 plants to 400 plants, garden size doesn't matter. Dr. Buck Cannabis Trimming Solutions comes to you with years of experience and professional discreet service. It's simple. We trim your weed and we do a damn good job. Visit drbuckcts.com to book your trimming.
Enjoy the buzz of legalization with Campbellford Lifestyle Shop. From lights to plant nutrients, books, consumption accessories, and more, we've got all your basics to grow or consume cannabis. Visit our info center or take a look at our piercing services and body jewelry, now available in-store through Campbellford Lifestyle Shop, 17 Bridge Street West, Campbellford.
The People's Alliance of Cannabis in Canada is an organization working to improve cannabis legalization in Canada. They have a mission and values that includes all Canadians, no matter where they come from. The values are including everyone, as no one should be excluded from participating, equality, diversity, advocacy, along with cannabis education and research, plus industry, safety, and professional standards. If this is an organization that has the same values as you, check them out at peoplesallianceofcannabisincanada.ca. Once again, peoplesallianceofcannabisincanada.ca. Check them out.
At Legacy 420, we believe in being different.
Experience the difference of quality control.
Our labs provide tested formulations for all of our products.
Experience the difference in trust.
Our customers can trust that we are following up-to-date COVID precautions for their safety.
Experience the difference in accessibility.
We're open 7 days a week. Please visit our website, legacy420.com, or contact us for curbside pickup as well as nationwide mail order shipping.
Legacy 420 values overall wellness.
Come and experience the difference of Legacy 420.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net. Hey, welcome back and thanks for tuning in to the Pace Radio Show. We are being broadcasted live here at paceradio.net. Tonight on the program, we are joined by our guest, patient actionist, Gary Pallister and Kim Saltarski of Isn't It Amazing Entertainment. And my joint host, Kim Cooper of Northern Ontario Cannabis Resources, Educational Resources, is here as well. And we've talked about all kinds of things over the last, hour now. Are we going to get into the documentary now?
Yeah, let's dive into the documentary. Gary gave me a great segue, but it was almost commercial break time. So let's get back into that. Kim Saltarski, I mean, we've interviewed you in the past for other features that you've done, such as Jack's Garage, as well as the mini doc that you did on yourself as well recently that we aired on my my little mini station IWK on Facebook. Now you dove into men. Like you were saying, that took 3 years for you of visiting and filming and then going back and putting that all together. The stories that you must have heard.
Yeah, I mean, I could easily release a mini series. I find the subject matter so amazing, but how we're first going to release it will probably be about a 37-minute documentary. I'm just finalizing it now, and then within the weeks I'll be announcing the official release date, which should be approximately in 2 months. But like I said, it was just every day was a joy to spend with Rob and Gary and all the patients who they helped and then went on to be patients helping patients. So yeah, it's a labor of love, but it's also an incredible education in terms of what I learned for Rob and Gary. And it also was, for me, extremely life-affirming to see two men who dedicated themselves just to educating people and helping people without filling their pockets, and that is what I find again and again, whether it's Jack Kungle, whether it's Gary Pallister or Mahy Sr, or the other documentary subjects I follow, including you guys. We have a beautiful community here, and Rob and Gary personify that for me.
Absolutely. Now that had to be quite the task, taking all that footage and just trying to whittle down to get the essence of who these two are.
Yeah, documentaries are thrilling to shoot and very laborious to edit. And I would shoot a day with Rob and Gary with 3 or 4 cameras. It takes me 2 or 3 days just to have it all digitized, transcript, and then I'm sitting on Rob and Gary provided a mountain gold, and I've got to carve it into a beautiful little ring to share with people. But that's what I do, and that's part of what I can use my gifts to pay it forward. Someone who stepped up to help me and teach me how to cure myself of cancer using cannabis. And so it's my privilege and my way of paying it forward. So yeah, it's a little time consuming, and that's why it's taken so long. And Rob and Gary have been very patient with the release, and I've just got a few more sort of spit and polish and get a website up, but we've got a few things going. But we're thrilled that we can sort of officially start sharing it in this radio show, and looking forward to when viewers are going to be able to share it, learn from it, and share it with their friends and family.
I'm excited for the release of this, and apologies for not getting it done more quickly. I mean, please, as you say, this is a labor of love. You've still got to do all of your regular daily things that you do in life. This is something that extra. This is started off almost a hobby-like, to fulfill a need for yourself, and to pay homage and to pay it forward, your way of paying it forward, because of what cannabis oil did for you in your situation. So you absolutely take all the time you need.
Yeah, it's so I'm just excited we're at this point where we're so close to sharing, and it's just been a thrill for me. So I'm so happy we got Gary on the show, and we're talking about that.
Yeah, I mean, that's fantastic that you even dove into this space, because really, everything that you've done so far has been looking at it from this perspective. The same lines that Jack's Garage followed is what Mend is following. And there's nobody else doing it this way. There's nobody else looking at it from the patient. There's nobody else looking at it. This is what people are doing in their garages, in their backyards, in their barns, in their town meeting halls, in their libraries. Not in the science rooms and not in the boardrooms. This is where it's happening.
Yeah, and like you said, when we started earlier in the show saying of some of the successes and mostly of the grand failures of the legalization of cannabis, and how it's just been shocking and appalling to me how the medical patients have really suffered. And I pitched this documentary as a series and a number of variations. I was even shocked, because I'm really sharing incredible true stories, heartwarming relationships, people overcoming the odds, people being sent home with 2 weeks to live, and then they cure themselves of stage 4 colon cancer. Those are stories worth telling, but I haven't found it yet, though I'm still holding out a faith that some of the broadcasters and Netflix that I'll be soon approaching will follow in. But ultimately, these are the stories we need to hear, not who gets the latest LP, this or that, or who's lost money or won money. These are the real human stories to humanize and continue the destigmatization of this most essential dietary supplement and healing plant on the planet, and right all the wrongs that have been done in terms of misinformation. And I find no better way that touches the heart than just having people tell their story. And so that's what I've tried to achieve with Mend, and show, the layers of stories. And part of Mend, besides what Rob and Gary do to help others, it really shows a very real and special relationship of two men who've been there to support each other and taken that support and done something very special with it. And so, I tip my hat to Rob and Gary for inspiring me and letting me have the privilege of telling their story.
Oh, it's fantastic. Fantastic, for sure. I think I already asked you this once already, but I can just, knowing you already and speaking with you several times over the course of the last 8 months or so, I can just imagine your face when you met Rob and Gary.
Well, I was just grinning ear to ear. It's like it's a dream come true when you see people doing stuff, and they're not doing it for the camera. They are, they're not like, oh,
they
well,
are.
Yeah, it's like, men exist without this film. Men exist without me. But so them to have and trust me, it was just such a pleasure, and they're so kind and professional, and they're just willing to be themselves, and that's a big deal when you roll a camera on someone. A lot of people change, and they are also, I admire that they dared to trust me, to trust their story and the intimate details that they go through for the sacrifices they've made and what they've achieved. So it's a true labor of love. So I'm just happy we're so close to the finish line, and it's so excited, like what happened with Jack's Garage, and a little way of me telling my story, how this can have real societal change and probably lead other people to examine the power of medical cannabis and see if it's a fit for them. And this documentary will save lives. I just know it because that's what Men does.
Well,
look at it, right?
Sharing the patient stories is a huge help in that, to get to help people save their lives by seeing and hearing it, people actually experiencing this. And patient stories are always number one to me. I can tell you that much. So
yeah, the person,
and you share them in the documentary.
Yeah, that's the foundation of it all, and I want to thank everybody who dared to share their stories. Because when we started filming this, cannabis was not legal except when you had to have a license.
Right.
And I witnessed at the Mend barn lessons that they had someone there. If people didn't have a medical license and wanted to go fully legit, they were ushered over to someone who would facilitate that. So they're very mindful from top to bottom of the experience and the realities. And now that it's legalized, what I've found is the the real truth of this plant sort of been lost in the hype and the branding and the recreational elements of how they're marketing it. So I'm just really, again, that, having Gary on the radio and having this film out, and look forward to getting Rob to share the story with us too. This is the kind of movement we need, just to ground it in reality.
That's right. Yeah.
100%.
Well, shall we, talking about sharing in patient stories, shall we share the trailer here so people can hear some of the benefits that how Mend has helped people and saving people's lives?
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Cool. All right. We're going to listen to that, and we will be back on the other side.
I'm not the only one in the world that wakes up in the morning and the first sort of thought is, what's the least painful way to get out of bed?
Instead of screaming and throwing bricks at the wall, we just put every positive intent and action into meeting whatever need came along.
Patients helping patients, that's what it's all about. I call myself an actionist. People are dying. We can't wait anymore.
We are an outreach and a community group, and we're here for social change.
With our friends, so far we've never turned anybody away.
I was so afraid that I was going to get thrown back in the States because of what he was doing. But now I don't care. And it took the love of one little girl is where this all started, was with Angelina.
Angelina was perfectly healthy until she suffered her first seizure. A seizure can happen any time of day. It's heartbreaking. I got in contact with Gary, which then supplied me with a bottle of tincture, and we went seizure-free for about 45 days. To have someone care about my daughter that much, it kind of gives me an assurance that there are good people out there in the world.
Kim, all I want you to do is turn your camera right around and point it at the wall. That's the message. The healing is real.
We're working with kids, young adults, seniors, horses, dogs. They're bringing their pets.
You want to know something? I bet you I can help you. Hi, folks. I'm just Rob. I'm not the cannabis guru or Grey Bruce, right? Not every other name or label that you've given me. This is your healing journey. Once I've done what I can do, then it's your choice as to what you do with this information and how you use it.
Every day there are more and more compounds being found now that there's actually money being put towards research.
We start you gentle. You get a counselor. You'll work with them. They'll bring you up to a program. Once you're good, God love you, go help your friends and neighbors.
If you'd have told me 30 years ago as I was, sparking up a joint, that we'd have a bunch of old ladies sitting in a public place learning how to make things with cannabis, I would have just laughed at you.
We're not dealers, we're healers.
It's not grannies hitting bongs.
And if they want to go and arrest Grandma and Aunt Betty and Uncle Joe, then I guess you're going to have to do that.
Come on, come meet some of these people for yourself. You're going to be blown away in a few hours.
I got introduced to a plant by two freaky hippies that look like Cheech and Chong. Got great big hugs. Not asked for a bloody thing. And my life got changed.
I thought it was a bunch of baloney.
She had a list of 25 things, everything from fibromyalgia, lupus, you name it. I took one look at that and went, oh, geez.
And my husband made me come to see Rob. I started taking the tincture, and I've been 33 months seizure-free.
My doctor says, I don't want to know what you're doing, but you don't even have to take an aspirin.
There's nothing wrong with me now. It was just awesome. It was the first time that the doctors looked at me and said, you're cancer-free, right? And I'm like, oh.
If you like it, come on back. We'll show you how to do it yourself, and then you can help your friends and neighbors too. Just that simple.
You can't control us now because we've spread the word.
It's not about the party high anymore. It's about truly being helpful.
Mother Earth's natural design.
Teaching folks that there's a better way than pharmaceutical drugs. Cannabis saves lives. Ripple, ripple.
All right, we're back. There you go. There was the trailer of the upcoming documentary Men with Dignity. And Ripple, ripple there, Gary.
Ripple for sure. You know, I'm gonna pop in here for one quick second.
Yep.
Next time we go on a break like that or during commercial break, I really got to record us when we're on break.
It's some of our best material.
When our mics are muted, boy, all you can hear is people coughing up a lung.
you can record that, Kim. Just so you know, you can record that with the speaker board.
That's like the behind-the-scenes bonus footage.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, there you go. Exactly.
We're all like, 30 seconds, hurry up, catch your breath. I had to. I'm sorry. But yeah, fantastic clip, a fantastic doc. I mean, the preview that we got to the privilege of seeing here at the network. Wow. We were sitting there trying to wrap fragile products in bubble wrap. And you don't know how many times we had to stop and grab the tissue.
You too, eh? Yeah.
Like, I can't see where's this fucking tape go? I don't know. Put it down. Just stop.
I was just saying, it's got some moments in it. That's right. Oh, yeah.
I mean, there was no packing. It was periodic packing in between tears.
It's called timing.
Man. And this whole journey for you has been about timing. Speaking of timing, we've had a lot of comments, I'm sure we will, regarding the clip we've just played as well as the doc after release. But we've also had a lot of comments on today's ad regarding the one picture that we used of you, Gary, walking through that field, holding that wonderful plant up in the air and flashing that, my all-time favorite symbol on the planet, giving us the 2-finger peace sign off at the side there. Tell us about that.
Well, we were recording up at the garden. We were walking along talking, and I just happened to reach down. We left a plant in the field, and I reached down and went, a little girl all alone, and I held it up, and I said, Dad, this one's for you. And I held the peace sign, and Kim said, don't you move. Don't move. Stand there. And I could hear him click, 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 click. And what had happened, I got in, well, you can see what happened. The sun was directly behind me, and it was just happened. I got goosebumps top to bottom.
Natural. It's a natural shot. It's not something that's practiced. It's something
like
that is genuine. Yeah.
This whole thing, me, it's not about me. Me is the one that has shouted and been loud because, and I get arrested the odd time too, but the more times that happens, I just get louder, and people are recognizing us for what we're doing, and what we're doing is helping people to die with some dignity and to live a really fulfilling life. We're not trying to get anybody high. You want to get high, you come here. You come here. I'll get you high. I'm good at that. I won't fuck you up. But the wellness and the great health. Oh, sorry.
Yow,
you betcha. You
betcha. For sure.
So that's the story behind that one particular, with me holding that up. That just happened. Praise the Lord. I mean,
and now it's not only a photography. It's not only a picture, but it is from what I saw. It is the picture for the movie itself, the documentary itself.
I think that's what Kim said at the time. He says, "This is it. This is the one." Like he realized it right at the time, and I felt very grateful that it just happened because it's all natural. Kim, the last time you and I did a radio interview. Yeah. Al, I can't remember. Were you there, brother? I think. Anyways, Kim and I, it was like 4 years ago, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have been there.
I listened to that.
Yeah.
I listened to that interview, because I sat at the back of the Range Road Diner. It was jam night, and I sat in the back of my car. And I listened to that interview 2 years later, and I couldn't even believe myself when I heard myself. I thought, holy shit, man, you really are focused on what you're doing, because nothing is scripted. I don't get up in the morning and say, I wonder how I can draw attention to myself to spread the word. It just happens.
It just happens. It just happens.
It just happens.
Like people say to me, hi, and I say, yeah, most of the time you.
Kim, you and I, we talk about this all the time. It's when patients see the benefits of cannabis, whether it's on themselves or others, quite often they can't stop talking. They've got to, they shout at the top of their lungs.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. You cannot find out the benefits of this plant, and everybody that does has the same urge. It's like an overwhelming desire. It's an overwhelming need to tell everyone you see, because you cannot believe that everybody doesn't already know this. Hey, did you know this? Did you know this is a fucking plant? And did you know that this is what it does? Holy shit. How come we don't know this? And it's a need that you've got to tell everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, to how many people don't realize we have the endocannabinoid system, which is the scientific foundation of why this plant does its wonder to us. This is not magic. This is not voodoo. This is science, and it's just applying it. It's so fantastic, and I completely agree. Through the kindness of someone helping me out, I regained full vitality, completely kicked cancer out of my life, and then I made it my mission. How do I pay it forward? So being able to document Rob and Gary's story and everyone in their path, and the Jack Congos and the other documentaries I'm working on, it's, you have to do it out of, when something's good, you must share it with the rest of humanity.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. It's, I don't know how else to describe it other than a need. It's like, I found it completely astonishing that everybody doesn't know this. How come I didn't know this? Why isn't this common knowledge? Everybody is supposed to know this. Why has it been hidden? And oh my God, we must make everyone aware.
Yeah. I had.
Can I get it? Oh, wait a second. Push that button, baby. Let me tell you why nobody knows about it. Here we go.
Well, we know. Yeah.
Here we go, Gary. Go.
Here we go. Go.
Because
go,
the
Gary.
pharmaceutical company and the draconian. Look, calm down, Kelly. You're only telling a story. Relax. Because the government, them draconian pricks, and the pharmaceutical companies, them other draconian pricks, they don't want to share nothing with you because they're in it for the money. They want the money. What? Oh, push that button. I have a bullseye on my back with the pharmaceutical companies because they don't want blue-collar workers telling the people. I'll never tell anybody that cancer can be cured. I won't do that, but I'll tell them we're sure kicking the shit out of it. And I've got 9 testimonials to people that say the oil saved my life.
Yeah.
The tinctures in the oil saved my life. The butter and the tinctures in the oil. So get me going. Look out. Government, get out of the way, because all you people are interested in is not my welfare and my friends or anybody else. I'm interested in your welfare. Why do you think I put my address on Facebook plus my phone number? I don't hide from nobody. If I can help you, I'll help you. Inside or out.
Yep. 100%, Gary. And the majority of the patients out there, overwhelming majority of patients that are out there are the same. It's like when you find this out, you must tell everybody, because you can't see another human being continue to go through the roller coaster ride you just got off of.
I was very fortunate. When I get into this through treating yourself, I met all the right people. Yeah. I met you. I met Al. I met Michelle Michi. I met all the right people. I went to the protests. And then I realized, well, the protests, no, I don't want to protest or activist anymore. I'm going to do it. We're doing it.
Let's just do it. Let's just do it.
We're doing it. And you know what? We are.
And you are. 100%.
We are.
And you're making some big ripples that are
they're
turning into waves.
Yep. Little by little, and the more people that know, the more people that get well and get better and can share, and it's helping dogs, animals. I mean, horses. We had a horse. Rob had a horse down. He got 2 liters of this tincture into the horse. The horse was already pulled out of the barn. The horse was dead. They weren't going to do anything. Rob come in. He started pouring the tinctures in front of the horse. He got up and he said, "Okay." That horse stood for 3 more years.
Nice.
Tinctures.
Nice.
And they're made with glycerin, not with alcohol. Our tinctures are made with glycerin because I'm a recovering alcoholic, and my best friend, he's a diabetic, so neither one of us can use alcohol. So we figured that the glycerin works the best.
Right.
And we teach you how to do it. I even tell people, if you don't have any material, come over. Call me. I'll find some material for you to work with. If your grandson or grandparent, if you can't find it, call me. I'll help you.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about.
That's what it's
sharing.
all about.
That's right.
Each one, teach one.
That's it. That's it.
Ripple,
I mean,
ripple.
fantastic. How fantastic is that? So, Kim, we're looking forward to this. 2 months, you figure, right?
Yeah, and you guys will be one of the first to know once the date is set in the platform for it. For sure. Right now, we're just in the midst of building a website, but we do have a Facebook page. So if you look for Mend with Dignity or at Mend MEND doc, you'll find us. So that's good. And also, Rob and Gary also have their own website, mendwithdignity.com. So I'm sure they'll be announcing it. If you want to go to YouTube and just search Mend with Dignity, you'll see the trailer that we featured in the show. And there'll be we'll probably get Instagram. So I didn't know what to expect.
Jesus, my bad was my change room.
So you can see what I'm dealing with here.
Hey, Gary, you and I started off on the back of a toilet in Ottawa. It seems fitting, right?
Yes, we did, dear, didn't we? Oh, my goodness. That sounds really weird. I love it. I love you too, dear. We've taught a lot of people and helped a lot of people. And you say this is the end. This is maybe the end for the documentary to be finished up. This is only the beginning.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
This is only the beginning. Talk. 519-377-6969. It's all out there. It's about helping you. This is about you. You're listening to this? This is about you. It's not about me. They picked on me and I stood up. That's all. It's about the people that we can help.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. 100%. 100%. Well, I was going to say we're at shout-out time, but they pretty much just did it, right?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, too.
I pre-shouted out.
Yeah. Well, you know what I always tell everybody before the show, if you mention it during the broadcast, 10 times, you're free to mention it, your 11th or 12th time at the shout out. So the last time you mentioned it was during the show. So if we're going to shout out time, you feel free to mention it again.
Let's run through in case anybody missed anything. Let's take a couple seconds for both of you to run through how do we get in touch with you guys if we need to, and tell us about websites and contact for companies as well as the doc. Start with Kim.
Yeah, my company is amazingaintit.com, so I'll certainly be announcing the documentary there. You can see my other work. But more importantly, with this documentary, Mend with Dignity, you just Google that in YouTube or Facebook and you'll find us, and there'll be a website coming real soon, and we'll be sharing it with all our friends in this community, that too. And I want to give a little shout out to my co-producers, Karen Wilkie and Greg Van Riel, and also to Rob's wife, Barb, who's very important in the whole Mend circle. And thank you guys, and also thank Gary for letting me be on the ride as a fly on the wall.
Absolutely. Oh, that's awesome. Gary, you're up. Shout out time.
Well, the way you get a hold of me is I'm Gary Andrew Pallister, not the famous footballer from England. I'm Gary Andrew Pallister on Facebook. There's a picture of a hummingbird on the front. And you can get a hold of me. I generally answer my calls. Be nice when you call. I'm an old goat and hard of hearing. 519-377-6969. The year I started using cannabis. Yeah, that's it. The bathroom. I do the best I can.
Hey. Cheers to that, Gary. Cheers to that.
That's right.
Teamwork.
Everybody
working together.
Yeah.
Talk nice about one another.
100%.
Love one another. Share one another. Check your neighbor. If something don't seem right, it probably isn't. If you get a funny feeling that something ain't right and you're walking forward, turn left.
That's that gut feeling.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah.
Something's calling you. There's a reason for that.
Yeah, and this
Just love your
plant
neighbors,
does.
love yourself.
And I think what Gary says too, also the magic of the cannabis plant, it empowers you once you realize you are in charge of your healing, and you can find ways to get it inside you. You're not a slave to the system anymore.
100%. For sure.
Exactly. All right, Kim, shout out, or shall we also mention that you're on the move?
I am, and that's my shout out for tonight. Actually, I do have a shout out. I've got shout out going out to two other joint hosts on here at the network. Julie Chiarello, the wonderful joint host here on the Pace Radio Show. We are on alternating weeks. She is taking over for me in full for the month of June, and I really, really appreciate that. I am off. Tonight is my final show on the network, except for a quick entrance on Open Your Eye. I'll still be popping in with Cindy Howell on Open Your Eye, but Pace Radio Show, as well as the Reefer Reporters. I am on holidays, and big shout out to Reefer Reporter returning to cover me. Miss Green Irene is back in the house and taking over my spot. Well, I am away because I am moving. I'm moving home to my farm, and I'm going to be off grid, and I'm going to be on data for 30 days, so I'm not going to be doing a heck of a lot on the internet.
Yeah, exactly. So, moving takes time, and you've got a big move ahead of you. Basically, as you said to me, you've been on the road for 6 years, 8 years?
Yeah, 6 years, almost 7 years, just under 7 years. I've been literally on the road with hubby, moving sometimes several times per year with his work. And I've been traveling with him since my kids grew up and left the farm and left me sitting there alone. I said, well, I'm not staying. So I left and went on the road with him. And now it's time for us to start looking at retirement. He's close enough now to finish off his working years in a job that he can commute to from our original farm. So it's time to go home.
Time to go home. That's right. Exactly. All right. Well, I hope your move goes smoothly as can be. And that here. Hello.
Hi.
Okay, I think
we get lost again.
No, I think we're back, aren't we?
We're all good.
No, we're not.
Good.
We're okay. All right, we're gonna head out. Talk to you later. Thanks to everybody for listening, and
okay, kids.
Talk to you soon. Bye.
Thanks for tuning in.